Hello and welcome to The Telescope. Every week we'll bring you a fresh insight from the biggest car market in the world. Today we're on Volkswagen China's 40-year anniversary event, or as known as the Volkswagen Creator Camp. When I say Volkswagen China, I should clarify, I really mean SAIC Volkswagen, because it was 40 years ago to this month that Volkswagen signed the initial joint venture agreement in Shanghai and started production on the Santana B2. And just one day before the filming of this video, today is November the 28th, on November the 27th, SAIC and Volkswagen renewed the joint venture agreement, extending it to 2040. Back to the Santana, or the Passat B2, it was that car, it was the car that brought China's automotive industry into the modern age. It was so influential that production of that model didn't stop until 2012. So that car, the Passat B2, was on sale at the same time as the Passat B7 simultaneously in China. Yes, that really happened. I grew up in a Tier 5 city in the southwest part of China. When I was a kid, my uncle sometimes has a Santana with him. Every time I took a ride in it, it was such an experience. That must be around 97, 98 time. At that time, the rest of the world, if you're watching this from Europe, you are already on the Passat B5, and this is the Passat B2. And this car was still the model to buy. At that time, I didn't know how to judge a car through engine, chassis, transmission, practicality, fit and finish. I was a 5-year-old kid. The only thing that intrigued me was this very, very mechanical indicator sound. Now, listen to this. And especially when it self-cancels. This is very different to nowadays. Nowadays, everything here is more or less plastic. And you don't get this clunky mechanical sound. It almost sounds like a mechanical watch. To me, it was that one sound that signified to me this is a very complicated, well-engineered machine. The world is a much bigger place than I realized it was going to be. Nowadays, with electrical stalks, you know, that kind of stalk doesn't even self-cancel. This sound, it doesn't have this cancelling sound. It just stops. It works better with the ADAS system. Some people are obsessed with the door shutting sound of the Mercedes G-Wagon. I was obsessed with this. So it was no surprise when the B5 Passat Pro started domestic production, introducing to China around the year 2000. My mom bought it for around 280,000 renminbi. That's in 2000. Inflation adjusted, that's around 500,000 renminbi in today's money, or 63,000 euros. Nowadays, you can buy the Passat B9 Pro, the one I'm driving today, for around 25,000 euros in November 2024 exchange rate. And now this is in a completely different class compared to the B5 my mom bought. So much more power, so much more space. I think my mom bought the 2-litre naturally aspirated version, which is around 115 horsepower. This is 220, and for about 1/3 of the price, inflation adjusted. My first car is a second-hand Volkswagen CC. I bought it in the States. For some reason, Americans just don't seem to get the appeal of Volkswagen. I checked at the time, if I want to buy a similar mileage example, similar spec in China, it would cost me around 10,000 US dollars more expensive. I drove to a lot of places. I did a road trip in it from Boston to San Francisco with 3 other people and fully loaded luggage. Yeah, lots of great memories. We are at one of the 3 major installations for today's event. The one behind me is the tech lab. They've taken out individual components on the Volkswagen products and really explained it in detail. Some of the technologies are still underappreciated even until now. Let's take a look. What's shown here is the headlight unit of the Passat Pro. It has the so-called IQ.Light. In essence, this is a matrix LED light. Now, that is not uncommon. Maybe you have heard about it from Audi, from Mercedes, from BMW. But the crucial point is Volkswagen lets you have matrix LED lights on such inexpensive models. You have to remember the Passat Pro starts in China at 25,000 euros. The ID.3 Pro, the higher spec, starts at roughly 18,000 euros. 18,000 euros and have matrix LED lights. That's still a market-leading spec. I've recently been to a small car, like a closed-door media preview event. So that car has not even come onto the market. And I mentioned the ID.3 Pro has the matrix LED lights, and the R&D directors of that particular company still seem relatively surprised, like they don't know about. Now, what you can do with a matrix LED lights, it can block out certain parts of the road to reduce the flare. Now, this is an auto high beam. This is the light will follow your steering. On my ID.3, you can choose how quickly the headlight follows your steering. If you choose it to sport mode, it really follows your steering really closely. This is the major plus point of the matrix LED lights. It can block out individual cars or incoming cars and still maintain their high beam. Now, this kind of functionality is still quite rare at Passat level, but at a price point of the ID.3, it's still market leading. And this is the complete product. Next time when you see a Passat Pro, notice this is the matrix LED IQ.Light, and this is the IQ.Pilot system with the dual front-facing camera. Huge, amazing installation behind me. I'm about to do this ID Pinball challenge, which is to show the incredibly small turning radius of the ID.3, 4.7 meters curb to curb. I'm particularly confident about this because it's the ID.3. That's my own car. I park this car in mechanical parking spaces, squeeze it into all kinds of weird corners on a daily basis. This should be easy peasy for me. Second thing is this SUV maze behind me. We're going to drive the Tiguan L Pro to go through some junior level off-roading. Also, I think I need to explain a little bit about this logo here. It's very cold. I've explained to Volkswagen people on site, I have to wear this. It's 13 degrees now. I never expected Guangdong to be this cold. So yeah, some junior level off-roading coming up. I came to this event mainly to tell you about this. It's called the Viloran or Viloran in Chinese. As of today, this car is only on sale in China and Vietnam, and all of the cars sold in Vietnam are made in China as well. With the exception of Touareg, this is the most luxurious Volkswagen currently on sale anywhere in the world. It has a lot of space. It's 5.3 meter long, so it's a massive car. But the most unique selling point of this car is not the space or the luxurious equipment, is that this car is a hybrid between an MPV and an SUV. It tries to shake off a certain image problem with MPV or minivan owners. It's got very big wheels. It shares a lot of the technical underpinnings with the Volkswagen Atlas SUV currently on sale in the US, or the Terramount as it's known in China. Drives more like an SUV as well. It's much more dynamic than your usual high-riding MPV. It is higher riding than a saloon, but it feels more dynamic than a typical MPV. It's currently available in China with a starting price of roughly 199,000 RMB or 27,000 US dollars. And the Volkswagen Terramount, the same SUV version of this car, is also available for roughly the same price, and that is about 10,000 US dollars cheaper than the Volkswagen Atlas price in the US. So, as you can see, lots of features or even entire models specifically dedicated just for the Chinese car market. We're living in a time when isolationism is on the rise, and unsettling words like decoupling and de-risking are flying around all over the place. The new agreement guarantees another 15 years at least of Volkswagen's joint venture partnership continue to exist in China. We need more good news like this. China was, is, and always will be a huge market for everyone. And I, for one, would love to see brands like Volkswagen continue to do well in China. That is all from the telescope today. If you enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.